Howdy, folks. This is Jeff Davis, long-running Jeff Davis show. I consider my whole life a show, lifelong Jeff Davis show. And for decades, I was a radio and TV broadcaster who had to drive to a television studio or a radio studio to broadcast. Well, with today's technology, at least right now, currently, I don't have to do that. I can sit here right here in Central Texas and do a simple little broadcast. So that's what I'm doing. Today is 8 August 2018, year of our Lord 2018, 8 August. And message today is a simple little study of money and the history of money. Throughout thousands of years, there's been examples of good, honest money and basically treacherous money. And depending upon who's printing it is the version that you get. Now, today's current system, private central bank, the Federal Reserve Bank, which is owned and controlled by certain families, the Rothschilds and families of that nature, control it. And they use the printing of money and interest rates manipulation. But they use the printing of money to their advantage. Printing money is very profitable. And so basically what you have here today on this day is despite all of the propaganda and the stories that the economy is booming, the U.S. economy is not booming. The jobs that are being created, the majority of them, are low-paid jobs or part-time jobs that barely even, with low pay, that barely even allow people the opportunity to exist all over America. And you'll see very few reports about this in the so-called mainstream media. But homeless and poverty is on the rise in America. Estimated 50 million people now are either have no retirement savings. There's a growing number of homeless camps of working poor that are actually working full-time jobs, but due to the low pay and the money system that's currently in place, they're not able to even afford to put a roof over their head. The tremendous amounts of homelessness in California, here in Texas, they're here in Austin. They're building, they're finding all these homeless people under city structures and inside of tunnels, road tunnels, all kinds of different things. People just can't afford to keep a roof over their head. And so, you know, this is the Jeff Davis Show exclusive broadcast. You're not going to hear this in too many sources, particularly not the mainstream media. There's several reasons why homelessness is growing in America. There's food insecurity amongst many college students. We've already talked about the homeless camps. High percentages of retirees have little or no savings to depend on. And that has to do, mainly, not entirely, but mainly due to this money system that we use today. We're forced to use it. Printed by the Federal Reserve Bank, not by us, or not by the Congress or the people, printed by the Federal Reserve Bank. They've been printing these things for, well, paper currency for about 50 years. The gold standard was done away with. Silver certificates were done away with. Even our coins before 1964 had silver and had some silver in them, precious metals, and that's gone. Our coinage are basically worthless metals, and the money system that we're forced to use is paper. Now here's the situation. A quick study of money. Like I say, this is printed by the Federal Reserve Bank. This essentially is a piece of paper with the number 1 on it. That's it. It's a piece of paper with the number 1 on it. On the back of the $1 bill, you can see this little pyramid structure here, right there, with the eye there at the top. And there's debate as to what that's all about. Frankly, I think it looks very grotesque to put that on your money that you use. But so essentially this is a piece of paper with the number 1 on it. This is a piece of paper with a number 5 on it. This is a piece of paper with the number 20 on it. This is a piece of paper with the number 100 on it. Now, the bottom line is all of these different pieces of paper with numbers on it are simply that, pieces of paper, not backed by anything, can't be redeemed for anything like a gold or silver certificate. They're just paper with numbers on them. Now what's happening is through decades of endless printing these things and floating these out into the economy by the trillions of dollars, these things, since they're paper, are devaluing and have been devaluing for a long time. That's one of the reasons why a gallon of gas in the 1970s cost 25 cents and it costs $2.50 today. This is the main reason for inflation. As these pieces of paper continue to devalue, companies, whether small businesses, households, large corporations, they have to compensate for this devaluing paper money. So what they do is they raise their prices on things, and this is the main instrument to inflation. What we should be doing in America is we should have a national central bank owned and regulated by the Congress and ultimately by the people. If our money system is not doing the job it's intended to do, the American people should hold the Congress accountable. That's in the Constitution. The founders understood the Bank of England and how they manipulated money. And Article 1, Section 8 states that only the Congress has the authority to print and issue currency. At least those are people that can be held and somewhat accountable. The Federal Reserve Bank meets in secret. They're accountable to no one. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. And other than what is obvious, and that is that they continue to print this paper money that's devaluing. And it's like a slow fleecing on the American public. And this is an exclusive because this is something that very rarely, if at all, you'll hear on the establishment news or so-called economist. The so-called economists are there for nothing more than to divert you from the simple fact of how this paper money is devaluing and how it's causing inflation and people are falling through the cracks. Their job is to divert that simple little fact. So what's so interesting to me about it is that the Federal Reserve Bank that prints these paper dollars, everybody uses them. Cops have use them. Media people use them. Politicians use them. The general public are forced to use them. And so basically what that means is everybody's expendable. Actors, people that are worth $100 million right to today, in today's standards, 5 years from now, as these things continue to devalue and they keep printing more and more of these and keep putting them more and more of them into the economy, $100 million may only be worth $10 million 5 years from now because of this. So anyway, what needs to happen is we need to throw the private Federal Reserve bankers and really all private central banks around the world, because they're all doing the same shit, whether it's Venezuela or what happened to Zimbabwe, whether it takes a barrel full of their currency to purchase a loaf of bread. It's the same thing's happening here. All these central banks, these private central banks, devalue their currencies. And ultimately, the shit hits the fan. And so it's a pickle when you consider everybody's expendable in this game, even presidents. John F. Kennedy actually moved on the private central bank, the Fed, with Executive Order 11110. He ordered $5 billion printing of interest-free United States currency, which effectively bypassed the usury devaluing paper money by the private Fed bank, and months later he was dead. So everybody's expendable. Cops, media, politicians, the general public. And many people are today being fleeced by this and have no conception of what's behind it. It's a very simple thing, but if it's never explained to you, and it never will be explained to you, other than Jeff Davis show exclusive reportings, that's it. We're caught in a pickle, and so. They control the economy. They control the system. And so that's a little basic study of money and how this current money system is being used to fleece not just the American people, but essentially the entire world population. Because these central bankers, the Rothschilds and them, they own most of these central banks around the world. So that's it. I do have hope. I'm the Jeff Davis Show, baby. Going out worldwide as of today. And as long as that is going on, with the censorship and things going on, potentially Jeff Davis Show could go by the wayside. But as of right now, I can do these little simple little broadcasts, explain to you how this devaluing paper money that's being circulated around for decades, trillions and trillions and trillions, is devaluing and fleecing us. I'm going to continue to do so. So with that, this is the Jeff Davis Show, baby, worldwide. Right here out of my fortress in Central Texas, 8 August 2018. Peace out, baby.